What is up, you guys? Welcome to the show. I'm one of your hosts, John Nava.
David Lopez.
Jackie Miranda.
And here we're coming to you live from... Oh, I was about to say it.
Don't say it. The headquarters.
Tarsel's headquarters.
Yes.
So what's up, you guys? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. You're coming with me with the small talk.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Where are we headed now?
The weather.
It was kind of chilly today.
Yeah, it was. What'd y'all do at work?
Oh, I actually didn't work today.
Oh, you didn't?
No. I called in.
I was so excited. What you did?
Well,
what happened?
we had the White Lotus collection drop today. The Banana Republic White Lotus.
Really? What
you
is
know
that?
about that show?
Oh, it's collab?
Yeah.
Okay, how was it? Yeah, I know about the show.
Oh.
I haven't seen it.
Oh. Well, I don't know. Like 3 people showed up for it in the morning.
Really? Is that hype?
Wow.
Well, what was it though?
Just clothes. I mean, it was alright. It was just
clothes.
I don't know. I've never watched the show, so I don't understand if it's like.
They're supposed to be rich people on a resort, and then like shit goes down.
Oh yeah, it looked like resort vibes. The clothes.
Okay.
You know, just chub shorts.
But that's what Banana Republic looks like.
Whoa, hot take.
Already, dang, slow your roll.
Sorry, it is very like resort vibes because I was in there the other day and I was just waiting for him and he was helping someone and the guy was like, where was he going?
I forgot where he was going, but he was flying to a wedding somewhere.
And he was buying on just like.
Yeah. Oh, Australia.
Do you pick them up often? You're like, at Car Rider Line?
Actually. No, I got
That's
off
what it feels
early.
like sometimes.
Yeah.
I got off early and then I just went because I needed some heels and then I was there, but then I left. I went to DSW instead.
Fast fashion? Do we support fast fashion?
Were you getting kitten heels?
No.
That's all I know about. Chelsea likes kitten heels and Carrie Bradshaw. You seen Sex and the City?
Oh yeah.
That's all I hear about on there.
That's all. That's like kitten heels are the only heels that exist.
Ever?
Yes.
For real?
No.
I'm just kidding.
I was like, no.
Anyways. Okay, just a synopsis about what this is. I mean, we don't have a name for this show, but we're just here
we will when you see this.
What if we just call it The Show?
Oh.
No name.
No name. But basically, we just want to talk and
.mp3.
because we feel like people don't really talk about the issues.
Whoa.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jackie's gonna
Except
put
for
us. Except for us.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
No, be for real. Be so for real.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, there's just a lot to talk about here in Houston, and oftentimes we don't get to go beyond surface level conversations with people in our scene and people outside of it as well.
What is our scene? Because we say scene a lot, and we say the fashion scene, and then I say streetwear scene, and y'all are like, that doesn't really exist here. So what would you say the scene is?
That's a hard question. Yeah. I think it is really just like a mixture of things because I guess we could start by saying how like we came across John and how we met John because Roundhouse was hosting his documentary.
Shout out Roundhouse.
Shout out Roundhouse. And we went and we watched the documentary and we thought, like this is really cool. There's a lot of stuff going on in Houston that we weren't particularly aware of before. Whether that was because the pandemic was going on or whatever. We just kind of were oblivious to the fact that there was a community here that was built and growing. And so moving forward, we just kind of started, going to these events that Roundhouse was hosting, Trade by Night. And so I think beyond just like fashion, we agree on a lot of different things, whether that's politics or music, pop culture, like whatever it is, like I think we just kind of intertwine and we're alike. So I don't know if that answers like what the scene is, but I think we're just alike.
No politics though. We're not talking about politics.
Politics,
Yeah,
chat, no.
Do y'all like sneaker politics? The store?
Isn't that in Austin?
There's one in Austin. I think they're from Louisiana.
Louisiana. No, I mean, like, honestly, with sneaker stores, like, it's like, you don't, it's hard to have, like, be a fan of any store, almost.
Why?
Because they made it, a lot of them made it to where, not all, but a lot of them made them to where they just very transactional. So if there's not a hot shoe coming out, then like there's no point of going to the store. And at least here in like maybe the states, in the state of Texas, you know,
Okay.
because you know you go to like you're in like New York, like the Atmos store, like butter stuff, like extra butter and stuff like that. I just see that there's more like an actual community there. Like they're more inviting to people outside of just the transactional thing.
But how do they make the community?
I don't know. They just host. I just see all the time, you know, on Instagram that they're hosting events of like X, Y, and Z thing. You know, it doesn't even have like no shoes being bought. Maybe it's just like having people together and like hanging out. And you just don't like a lot of at least maybe I'm just not aware of it, but a lot of stores in Houston I don't see them doing that a lot. You know,
Sneaker stores.
Yeah, sneaker stores specifically. Sneaker stores. You know, it's just like, I mean, also, like, they're on, like, razor thin budgets as of recently as well, you know?
Okay.
Just because, I mean, the whole...
Bro.
Time to wake up.
I'm done.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I just think that, I mean, they already work with little to no, like, margins, so there's no budget for, like, stuff like that, maybe.
I guess.
Where in New York, it's just a bigger market, so... in California, you know, just bigger. There's more money out there to do stuff like that, and also they have a lot more like tier 0 stores, which we only have like. I mean, Mama Near is recent, you know, but before that there was not. What was it, like maybe Premium Goods every so often would get
tier zeros.
Yeah, that's how
What do you mean?
Nike categorizes stores, like tier
okay.
0, 1, 2, and 3. I think that's the lowest one, but
Okay.
that's probably like your like Kohl's. You know,
Okay.
where they get like orange box shoes.
Or the outlets. But that's their own stores?
Yeah, outlets is I don't know. Actually, yeah, I'm just making it seem like I might know exactly what those mean, but I just know tier 0 means you're getting like everything, all the cool stuff.
Okay, yeah. That's the highest tier.
Yeah, the highest tier 0. And Mama Near is one, but before that, I mean, they didn't even open too long ago. Like within the last like 6 years, maybe.
Yeah.
7. But before that, it was Premium Goods, and man, I can't remember any other stores right now. Don't get mad, you know. It probably is, but I just don't remember them right now.
I mean, the only other big one I know is there's the Better Generation, right? That's even more recent.
Yes, yeah.
And then what's the place by Star Pizza and Whataburger and Trill Burger? I just know places by.
Sneaker Summit.
Sneaker Summit.
But that's a resale store.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But those have came and gone.
The one that's in City Center.
That's Social Status.
Social Status.
But that's also a Mama Near like sister
subsidiary.
store. So they all kind of came at the same time, you know. Like, but before that, I mean, where were people hanging out? I don't know, Premium Goods. I mean, I did campouts at Premium Goods, so that's all I remember.
I did one line there, and it was for like a hat. Yeah. How'd you know?
Because like. I don't know. I can kind of tell when. I think it's just for what I know of you. I think that.
Wow.
I know that.
Well, guess what? If I was there for the J Tips drop? It was the same day as the J Tips drop. I could have gotten the J Tips shoe.
But I haven't seen you wearing the J Tips, so.
He's calling me a liar.
No.
You go in my closet. You can go in my closet. I'm just kidding.
Because they stopped doing first come first serve after some time.
Premium Goods?
Yes, they stopped doing them, and recently I think. Did they do it for? I don't remember if they did it for the 85s that just came out. But honestly, that's an overhyped shoe. But
which one? The
85 bread. They just kind of they do the silhouette like the OG silhouette, but like people forget that they changed it because it was uncomfortable and outdated technology. So,
Jackie, thoughts?
Well, I want to go back to like the Houston stores. So you were saying about how they have like little to no margins and stuff. I also think that it's perspective because a lot of them, unfortunately, are worried about making sales. And so the type of events that they hold are like, I've seen a certain store hold influencers and like meet and greets and stuff like that. So you know that's gonna be like people coming in to. There's gonna be a for sure audience coming in for that.
So like that's a good thing, like influencer meetups or not?
I don't really like those because like, especially when the influencers aren't like relevant to the
Right.
sneaker
Okay,
streetwear
I didn't know that's what.
culture.
Who?
Tilt did that.
Oh, you're not talking about MVP, right?
No, I don't know.
He's a wrestler. That was cool. That was cool. Shout out to Tilt for
Chat.
that.
You know, they actually held those influencers that
I didn't see that.
the video that we were watching
Oh. I didn't. Well, I think I feel like, I thought we were talking more like about like retail stores, like the social status, premium goods. I mean, now it's starting to feel like it, I think it's starting starting to like not feel like that much difference anymore. But
yeah,
like I thought we were on that topic. But yeah, I mean, even then, like,
Yeah.
even if we're talking about resale stores, I think that if it's not relevant to like anything, like, I think at that point you just want like their following but
exposure.
what do you get from like certain, like, sometimes just followers doesn't mean much really anymore. It's starting to not mean as much as it used to before, because like you're not that's not translating into anything,
Yeah, like
following.
sales, for example.
Yeah, sales.
Like if you have a lot of
Engagement.
followers, doesn't mean you're really selling anything.
Yeah, you're just giving away some.
we're talking about stores accounts, or what?
Or like what they do.
Yeah, because like
for
that,
exposure.
right? Yeah, what they do for exposure, like having an influencer, like.
Oh,
What
okay.
like how does that like customer perspective, like how do they perceive you after that? Like what is changing in their head? Like
Oh, you're saying like what's the point of doing it?
Yeah,
I get you.
Yeah.
I mean, to switch, this is the same topic, but like, I've always thought that like boutique streetwear sneaker boutiques, like, to me that's really cool, like Kith and ALD and that vibe. I'm talking about the store. I'm talking retail store. And like Houston, we don't really have that. We have Amamanier, we have premium goods. You can put that in that vein, but like we don't have a lot of boutiques, and especially now, like, why would you open that economically?
Right. Mm-hmm. So you mean boutique, like, as in, because Kith and ALD are like brands, like
they're brands, but the stores, like brick and mortars.
I think they did. I think Kith started as a retailer actually, but
you get what I mean.
I get what you mean, but I mean, I think there's like it starts with the big box brands to come in first. Like the Uniqlo, like that's happened already.
Yeah.
I think that's like a big thing. Although the Uniqlo might be just in a whole separate category. They just need to get as much money as they can fast. But I do think we I don't know why we're not attracting those stores though. I don't know. Like, I feel like it sounds crazy, but I feel like Supreme could do well here. I feel like a Supreme store, they're opening one in Miami now, and like I feel like we're not that far away from one.
There was a Stussy billboard in Houston, right? Like a year ago.
Well, it was. I think it was Photoshop, but like it was.
They posted it.
Yeah. It was like a video, right? And it was on by the aquarium. You see like the S on there. Yeah, it was pretty cool. That's what I thought. I was like, I remember I was excited. I was like, it was because it was like the day before we left, right, to Tokyo.
Yeah, it was.
So like I was like, oh, like
something's
like
happening.
We're getting something, because it was very cryptic. But I mean, Stussy's kind of like that. Right? Yeah, nothing happened. It was just like no skate video, nothing. So I was just like, I mean, maybe something had like stopped, but I think we're overdue for something like that, a brand like that to come in and like take a they have proper had a Stussy account. And it would sell. I mean, especially as recently. I mean, and even like the stores in California and New York are not even that big. Like, you can have one here, very very small, and I bet it would it would just do really well. Yeah. I'm not sure what it is that with Houston that like we're kind of seen as like a tertiary city.
But do you really think Supreme would do good here? I feel like I don't agree with that.
I think so. Like, I think that
I could see it.
Yeah.
Like, of course, they would have like sales. It wouldn't like flop entirely.
Purple box logo.
But I don't think that. I just don't know if that's where people are at anymore or still, because it kind of goes like both ways.
I think so.
Yeah, some people think Supreme is dead too. So
Yeah.
Right, but I think Supreme is just so big that there's gonna be always people on either side, and I think it's big enough that there's enough people in Houston that we're in, like they'll be okay.
And my thought, it has to do with like we need our own Soho. Like I don't want to compare to New York and all that, but like I think if we had,
like, Soho's everywhere, you know, like.
Did you see that they're developing like the East End into like a walkable?
Yeah, those
like a whole project.
They've got Japanese developers behind that.
That's. I mean, it seems pretty cool, but we'll see how that actually
pans out.
Yeah.
So, what were you saying?
But I just think we need our own dedicated shopping district that's not a mall. You know what I mean? And a place where fashion brands like can congregate, and then you just have one area for like different spots.
That's probably why it hasn't happened, because they look in Houston, they're like, where do we go? You know, the Heights. Do you go to Montrose? Like, where do you go? Like, as if you're like a Stussy, where do you go in Houston to like? Because you would be kind of like, because people are that would just attract people. You know, like other like people opening stores. They're gonna want to follow those brands. You know, wherever they lay those flags. It kind of sucks though, because I feel like it should be the other way around. We should be like, oh, we want these local brands are here, so we're gonna do it here. You know, like.
And why haven't local brands done that?
That's another thing. You know, everyone wants to kind of be their own thing. You know, you have like your brands like the only one Slump I think has a store, brick and mortar, and I think it's in the East Side, right? If I remember correctly.
It's Midtown.
So like.
Well, now Ion District.
So, it's like, why don't like they I don't know, like like no one can agree on any place, you know. Now it's like East Side. Now East Side is like you're starting seeing. I think it's gonna start popping a little more. So like now you start like where there's like all these little micro places and
the pockets.
I see a Stussy store doing well downtown.
Right downtown.
There's nothing going on there, so like they would bring everything behind it.
I agree that if there was, because y'all remember Forever 21 was downtown.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was. It was crazy, but
I don't remember that.
But if there was more dedicated commercial retail downtown, I think that would bring, first of all, foot traffic to downtown, but also it'd be like, okay, we get a Stussy there. Okay, how about a year later we get a Supreme there, or a Carhartt store, or whatever. And then we just transform our own little shopping district. I think that'd be cool.
I just see them doing well there because they're probably like the only people that can afford rent downtown.
That's a good point.
Like in a big space. And
so, yeah.
That's a good point.
And you can skate downtown. I don't know. Like, kind of just makes sense in my head.
That does make sense. That makes a lot more sense than I thought.
That does make sense. Yeah, a lot more right after that.
Yeah.
But like going back to like the Supreme and like the Stussy, like the top 10 we're like the 4th biggest city in the U.S., you know? And I just feel
Did you
like...
have to look that up?
I just want to be exactly... I want to see the order.
I'm sorry.
Because why, like, what was it, like, there is, like, they're doing Miami. Miami's not even that big. I guess it's, like, there's a lot of aura, I guess, to Miami, maybe.
There's more thing, like,
but
I don't know. It makes a little more sense, I guess.
Yeah, but, I mean, you know, they're opening Miami. They did Chicago already. Chicago felt a little like, oh, like, they're getting more into, like, LA and New York makes a lot of sense. But, like, Chicago, when they did Chicago, it's like, oh, like, it's starting to feel like we're getting closer to a Houston one. Because, like, where do you go after Miami? Like, what other city? Like,
Akron, Ohio.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like, I'm saying, like, where do you go? Like, Philly? Like, sorry.
But Philly that's personal.
Yeah, that was personal.
Right.
But, you know, like, where you go, and especially with them being owned by this big old company that they're trying to expand them, right?
Yeah.
So, like, where do you go in the U.S.? Like, where? Like, you know, Washington, maybe? Seattle? Like...
Washington. I mean, but I get what you're saying.
Like,
we're inching towards there.
I think so. I think that's. I think it's eventually. I mean, their opening seems to be now one every 2-3 years. So, 3 years from now, who knows what? Like, there's gonna be more Supreme stores. That's the period. You know.
It's just kind of crazy how we have to wait for, or I guess we don't have to, but it seems like that's what's gonna kind of push the like local like reseller stores to kind of unite? Because how do you think that's gonna affect them when we have like Stussy, Supreme? They're obviously gonna have to like change their inventory or like
they can't.
It's gonna be it's gonna be a little bit of competition.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So maybe they're gonna have to unite and form a community. Like I think that a lot of the resale stores are very spread out. I mean, we used to have Future Retro and Bounce Back next to each other, but I don't think that it was really like they shouldn't have separated. I think that was a perfect like community right there. But you know, I think Tilt is like all the way in Pasadena, and then what other we have Area 52 that just
Montrose.
moved to Montrose.
That's a little closer to Full Court now.
Yeah, down the street really.
You know what Luke was telling me, that from Full Court, there's a store at the end of that block or plaza, whatever, and I don't know if y'all remember when we went to trade night.
Mm-hmm.
There was a store. It's a store called, I don't know, Drip and More or something like Hype Club. Not the cleaning shoes place. But he's saying that they've been there for like a long time and they've been paying rent, but they have not opened. And he was saying like, you know, that'd be cool if there was another place adjacent to Full Court. Mm-hmm. You know, they had the sneakers and then Full Court had the vintage, and it would bring a lot more business. But yeah, kind of to the point you were saying.
Yeah, because like if you go to Austin and you have that.
That's how.
What do you say?
Scratch everyone's back.
Scratch each other's back.
Yeah, I don't think that Houston had that mentality for a while. Maybe now they're starting to come around to it. But it kind of sucks because it did feel like there was a lot of competition. Even when we do like pop-ups and stuff, it just kind of felt very like, oh, I'm here to make my money and like, well, I'm not going to help you make money in any way, which is, it sucks. We do see a change though, like recently, been very supportive. I found a lot of supportive people at pop-ups and stuff.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
It's been really good. But before, I mean, you didn't really see that, and it took a lot of time.
Yeah. And
there was a lot of discouragement throughout the years, but you know.
I think it's also because like, I don't know, like people were making a lot of money back then, like you know, and like during the pandemic.
People say that like regularly too, like in regular conversation.
But I mean, it's true. That's what it was. You know, people were just seeing money, and I think people got really greedy and very like on real high horses. You know, like they just got big ass egos now because of that, and that's why it felt very toxic. That era, you know, right after. I remember like the first sneaker con went to after Dallas, like we sold through 95% of the inventory. You know, it was crazy.
Damn.
And like you start like that, like you, and then for the next like couple years up until like she said recently, like people starting to become like, oh, you know what, like damn, there's other vendors here, you know, like let's go talk to them. Before it was just like, I'm gonna here make my money, and they were, and that's why they felt this like high, like this ego, I think. So I think now they're just like, oh, like people are just like, well, like actually I care about my customers, you know. So I think that's where we are right now.
Okay. And
we're still early stages though, so I still think people have time to change.
I have one question, and then we'll take a break. Mm-hmm. It goes back to the whole like, all right, banding together local brands, Houston thing. Let's say, all right, bam, big retailers, big brands, bam. They pop up in Houston, and they're like super, you know, popular, super strong. They draw all the money. Do you think that like forces Houston brands to evolve? Like apart from just screen printing, apart from just...
Please.
Dude, what do you think?
I think so just because I think that Supreme will eat their groceries, you know, to have like, you know, they'll be eating their groceries because like, why would I want your screen print that like I just go down the street and get it at Supreme, you know, for like maybe a little more. I mean, honestly, about the same price, you know, nowadays people are charging 40, 50 for a shirt. That's what Supreme charges. Like people pay, like if you're only buying a shirt, you're paying like $60, you know, from Supreme, and people do it all the time, you know. But if it's here, then you're not paying the shipping, and like it matters because this is no people buy a lot of Supreme. Like, you know, that's why they are who they are. So I think people are just gonna be like, well, I just rather buy them from them, and then you're like, oh, I need to like figure out what else I can sell, and like that's when people start like their little gear started turning like, what else can I sell that's like that I'm not seeing here, because they're eating, they're taking your groceries, like that's what Supreme will do.
I still want to say that.
Please
I
come
just feel
Supreme,
like-
come to Houston.
No, I would love
I'm tired
that.
of paying shipping.
I personally would love that. I think it would be really good for us. I just feel like the general like Houston population is very divided right now, because you still have your people that appreciate Supreme and like Supreme, but you have a lot of people that are thinking, I want to support local brands and kind of have this different mentality where like corporations suck and like whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just limited to people online. I think that a lot of people that we don't even know think that way.
Think like support locally?
Yeah.
I have a thought that the people who support local brands, it left me.
No, come
But
back.
but like the taste isn't there, and like good taste, and so they'll buy the brands that have the Astros and they have the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Well, I don't think those are the people that are consciously being like, I'm gonna support locally. I think that's something different.
I do think they do that though. I do think there's a little bit of a intersection there.
I just feel like they just genuinely like those like Texas and screws and school stuff because it's Houston and because they get to rep something. It's kind of like supporting like your school merch, almost like.
Yeah, and there's like brands in Dallas do the same thing.
Yeah, but I think outside of those people, like the common man is still buying Supreme. So I think that's why.
Common man or like common like enthusiast?
I don't
Both.
think the common man is.
You don't think so?
I've seen a lot of common men.
Who's at Supreme? Like
Common man is like
I've been to a
my
Supreme
dad.
line.
Yeah, her dad is in the line.
Or her dad for her kids. Like when if you've ever been to Supreme, you see a lot of that. Brings a lot of tourism too.
I was just thinking like it'd be something to do for people when they come to Houston. Oh, let's go to the Supreme store.
No,
Yeah.
But okay, we'll take a break. We'll come right back. And we're back to the show. We're back on the show.
Oh. Someone's excited.
This is from SpongeBob.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't have cable growing up, so
Okay.
I didn't know SpongeBob.
Cry me a river.
Here you go again.
Or did you grow up with cable?
No.
Yeah, she did.
Lying.
She grew up with all the streaming systems.
Okay,
She
first
grew
of
up.
all-
She has an OG Netflix account.
No.
All the streaming systems at 5 in 2001.
I did convince my parents to get Netflix like when I was 12. But before that,
I hacked it.
we did
I paid
have
some guy.
cable, but it was like the one you get from the pulga. Like,
What? You can get cable from the pool?
Got hacked.
Yes.
How?
She got fake.
DirecTV.
yeah.
It was in Spanish.
They do have that.
Basically like hijack.
It was just a hack, like USB.
Oh.
Yeah, they do that. I mean, it's still happening now.
And it was also in Spanish. It was
It's
like,
like
a
piracy,
Mexican network. So
like pirate, like all these things.
So I watched Disney like in Spanish and shit.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very sick. Should we talk about why you changed your shirt?
So, I found out that my shirt was not vintage.
Vintage.
And I was a little devastated, to be honest, because I was told it was. Not gonna blame them. Not gonna say names.
Danny.
Not,
Danny.
but he
you
might have
fucking
also not
scammer.
known. He might also not known. But I'll take some store credit.
Store credit.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just changed into some real vintage.
Vintage.
Early Nike, early 2000s. So
Alright.
tag is checked. So that's it. That's the story.
And what's the other shirt? What is it?
The shirt is
what
from.
kind of stuff are they making?
It's so random because I knew. I'm talking to the audience. I knew where that graphic was from, and I was like, I swear I followed some people in Austin that made that shirt. And he's like, no, this is vintage. And I'm like,
I was told it was.
I'm like, no, sir. Sorry to burst your bubble.
He didn't say it like that. He was like, He wasn't sure about it. And then he's checked the website.
Yep. But there you go. A little fun fact for you.
Fun fact.
All right, now we're into the segment. We want to talk a little about us. We want to ask each other the hard-hitting questions, because if you didn't know, these guys, they have their brand Tarsols, where, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys sell that, what I would describe as vintage streetwear, like streetwear. We can talk more about it. And y'all are also part owners of a store in Mexico City. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's correct.
So these guys, they've been in it.
How you know, dude? You do your research.
I have to know.
How do you know? How do you know?
Your Tarsols, we have to know.
How do you know?
And I have a magazine.
He has a magazine, actually, that we feature. Thank you, John, again. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
It's good.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. No, thank you. Yeah.
No, just kidding.
It was actually an honor.
Yeah, y'all don't have to thank me.
It was pretty cool.
Just thank yourselves.
For being cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's how we all got here. It's like going back to what the beginning conversation. We really are just together because we're cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, y'all were the only people that talked to me for a long amount of time at that documentary party, so I was like, okay.
Yeah, I remember. I was nervous.
Nervous why?
Because you were like this figure to me, I was like, whoa, this guy did all this.
Yeah, right. So we're gonna ask some questions to each other. Do a little interview. Who wants to go first?
You go first.
I'll go first. Are you talking to me or him?
Him.
I'll go first.
Yeah, you go first.
Okay. Because I could ask y'all just a general question. I mean, like, what started y'all's love affair with streetwear? Because I know y'all started it like around high school. Y'all been doing this. So individually, what got y'all started into it?
Oh, I go first. Okay.
Ladies first.
Well, when I met David, he was like very like supreme and just like very hype, which I found very cute. I think it was cute. Like, it was something I really liked about him. And then I also really liked just the fact that to start, like, he was already doing something that was not what everyone else was doing. So he was different.
Which was what?
Supreme hype in the deeper way.
That's what you were doing?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Essentially, because, you had, like, your weird, like, people who were supreme.
No offense.
No offense. It was just, like, they were way too
customers.
into it. But
Okay.
David actually appreciated it for other reasons. And, like, he showed me that it was more than just a box logo, So they make very cool stuff
Nerd.
to this day. And I really like Supreme as a brand. I know we were talking about, like, the store and, like, maybe how I didn't think it would do well, but not because I don't like it. Like, I actually really do like Supreme still. But yeah, and then from there we just kind of started more so liking sneakers. Like, he bought me my first pair of CDGs, like the Converse with the hearts.
The starter pair for everybody.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
Well, actually, I bought my own when I was in high school, but I didn't know what it was. Like, it was just trending.
Just a Tumblr thing.
Yeah, it was a Tumblr thing. So
Okay.
I was like,
So I also kind of got into the world with Tumblr.
that's cool.
Do you think, or no, tell me, is it Tumblr first that got you introduced to it, or was it David?
I guess Tumblr, because I didn't know David when I bought those. I was a junior, so I was 17, and I met David when I was 18. So,
Okay.
It was definitely Tumblr. I mean, I at that point already was into clothes, but I was still wearing, skinny jeans and like Vans, and like the artsy girl like look was what I was wearing when I first met David, and
Yeah.
I was already thrifting. At that point, like I was actually obsessed with thrifting, and I would go thrifting like every Tuesday
Uh-huh.
at the family. No,
Undisclosed.
Just say the family.
location.
Why? I mean, it's probably
It's
It's
tapped
cooked,
already. It's the
yeah.
family
It's cooked.
thrift center on Highway 6.
okay.
Where they like change their prices every day, and so everything was 50
A lot of
cents.
them do, but that was really good. It was really good when we first
It
went.
was, yeah. I
Okay.
went not that long ago. They still have like stuff here and there. But yeah.
Like on regular days when there isn't a fucking line out the door.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the ladies. I always talk to the ladies, and they were like the workers there.
With their permission?
I'm like,
Come on.
so like I forgot what day is it. They restart like Thursday morning. And they told me that there's always a line there, and it's like I don't understand. I'm like, oh, don't worry. Like, it's a line.
Don't worry about it. Don't hurt your little brain about that.
That's horrible.
Okay,
But,
so
yeah.
for you, or were you done?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I guess it did start before David, but David just kind of helped me evolve into what it is now.
So me,
Yeah.
like from the beginning.
Yes, the beginning, bro. We need the.
So I was born in.
I was born in a box logo.
No, he
I
was born in
wish.
polo.
I was born in.
Oh.
Stop playing.
Me too. Twin.
Beaners.
Okay.
But I don't know. I guess I don't know. Growing up, my mother was very. She always wanted us to be dressed nice to school and events and stuff like that, and so it was something she always like kind of told us about or like installed in our brains. So so that like pretty early on, I started like wanting to do that, but myself instead of having her tell me what to wear. So I remember, just third grade, really when you start getting I don't know what year when I started getting consciousness really, but I think whenever I remember the first I started noticing stuff was like fourth grade. We'd go to the mall and Northwest Mall, RIP.
Okay.
It's gone now, right in front of Chaparral.
Oh, not a chaparral.
Yeah, we would go get our smoothies, our thirsty smoothies, and just walk around on weekends. And there used to be Air Forces on the wall, and I used to think like, oh, I like those shoes because they used to have them. There used to be different colors, like there used to be all white with like the check and the sole would match. So it would be like all white and the check would be orange and the sole would be orange, or red, blue, and green if I remember correctly. I just wanted all of them because I thought it was like cool that you could just have different shoes to match different shirts. But my dad, he was not very he was not very fond of spending a lot of money on shoes. So our first pair of Jordans, we got them at the Pulga.
Yeah.
And that was before I knew it was not right. Like I was like, no, like these can't be the same Jordans. Like I couldn't
exactly
put my,
what you're talking
I didn't
about.
know.
Yeah.
I knew it was not right. Like I was like, no way they have all these colors here. Like it doesn't make sense. But I mean, now it's like, oh, they're fakes, right? But back then I didn't know that. I just thought like, there's something not right about this. Anyways, they came with the box. I remember I was like, well, they used to sell them without box, but I wanted the one with the box because I was like, well, it's cool. Like it comes in a box. And the box was all beat up, which I mean, if you know Jordans back then, it was gray, black box. So like, if they were beat up boxes, 9 times out of 10 are fake Jordans,
Yeah.
and it was a beat up box, obviously, but it was like a pair of Jordan 3s, and that's a colorway still hasn't even released like ever. Like it was just Jordan 3 with like green sole, like neon green and gray elephant print. It was in like metallic Jordan in the back, so it was a pretty good colorway, but
Not real.
not real.
It sounds cool.
So
Have you ever seen those?
no, I could never find them. Like it was just a really good colorway of a fake pair. Before it used to be just crazy colorways. They would make. But back then I was just trying to find a cool colorway and like a normal colorway. And I mean that was the most normal colorway there was at the Pulga.
The most normal one was a neon green.
Well, because if you know, like back then fakes were crazy. You'll be like pink and like crazy colorways. Like it was just like that back then, right? Like SpongeBob Jordans.
Oh yeah.
So
those are funny.
so that was my first pair of Jordans. That's where it started. Really, like me. I'm like, oh, like I want
Shoes.
to try to be something different. Yeah, fourth grade.
Wow.
That's like the very beginning.
A little young David.
A little young David. And then my first real pair of Jordans was a Jordan 6 Fusion, which are crazy. Like, I wouldn't buy them again, but only just to say, like, oh, this is my first, you know, kind of.
Is the Fusion a colorway, or is the Fusion like a different?
No, Fusion is a Fusion. Fusion 6 is like, Fusions were a line of Jordans that I guess when I was, my beginner era was when the Fusion line was coming out. A lot of people didn't like them back then, like the OG people didn't like that line because it mixed like classic silhouettes with other silhouettes. Like it was Air Force soles and like Jordan 6 top or upper, yeah.
Damn, that's
or
weird.
A 12, or I mean, and I also had the 20, so Jordan Fusion 20, which I still think are really good shoes to this day, but not the 6s. They're ugly now. I think I don't know where I was and what headspace I was.
But yeah. Hey, I mean, you were on some new shit. That's what you were
I was trying. I mean, that's just, I don't know, like what really pushed me there was if it was my mom, if it came from within, but I don't know. I just thought it was really cool to try and be different.
Yeah. I'd probably say the same thing. Like that's kind of where it started.
Mm-hmm. Fourth grade.
Not fourth grade. That's pretty. Well, you said like, oh, when you start getting conscious of what people are wearing in school. I think in elementary, like the girls start wearing K-Swiss. And then like in middle school,
where you go?
What?
Where you go?
What? What's wrong with K-Swiss?
Nothing.
No, tell me.
It's just funny. But,
okay. And then the cholos are wearing mid. Well, yes, but also mid top Air Force ones.
Yeah. I think those are the best Air Forces actually, the mid tops.
They're pretty gas.
Too high. The lows. I mean, it goes high, mid, low, and then high. But mid and low are very close.
Where does the SF1, AF1 go?
SF1, AF1.
Yeah, those are cool.
Oh, those are the crazy. The ones like with the strap.
Yeah, they're like boots. You remember those?
No. My friend Chris had some. The military greens, because they were kind of cool for like 2 days.
A second.
For like 2 days. Like for a week. I remember he traded Supreme. If I remember Supreme Air Maxes, the ones we have, the ones we just posted, he traded that for them. For like a pair of black ones, which it was the worst pair, but I would rather still have the Supreme Air Forces over those shoes.
Like you might as well get combat boots if you're getting the black ones.
No, you got I think there was olive green ones, but yeah, those were that was a funny time, you know.
Funny era
of shoes. Everything. I mean, everything's it's still fun, low key. So,
like if you wear it now.
No. I'm talking about like it was fun era, but like, I think it's still fun. Like all that doing trades and like.
Oh, trades,
involved. Yeah.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
Trades.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm trying to bring it back.
Oh yeah, David does a lot of trades.
I do a lot of trades. I always encourage trades because trades is how I got to like. Trades are like. If you know ball, you can get very far with trades. You know, you can like bet on things, and people are willing to let go of certain things for what's popular right now. So that's what I used to do. I used to just save up for one shoe or hit on a good shoe, and just trade like a bunch of like little Supreme stuff that I'm like, oh, like well, they probably like something that wasn't a box hug. The box hugs were super popular then, you know, but like I would trade for like something more like niche or you know something like that, and then I'm like, okay, in the future it's gonna be worth a lot, and like I just happen to get kind of good at it. So people like I think to this day I still think trades are like life. Like that's
what's
really
the best trade you made?
The best trade, I still remember Sneaker Summit. I forgot what year it was, but it was when the Off-Whites had just came out. The 10, you know, the 10 marked like a whole new era that we're just leaving just now.
Yeah.
So it was right before, like right when they dropped. I was with Basilio. Shout out Basilio. Never knew. And we were just looking for those because like that's kind of how it was, you know, what's the coolest sneaker, and it was the 10, and they were one of the Jordan 1s, but which I got offered them before I did the trade, but I really wanted the Prestos, and the Prestos was I traded at the time Yeezy Breads, and then Air Max, the Gucci colorway, the Air Max 97 Gucci undefeated ones. That's what they're called, Gucci. That not officially, but like the street name was Gucci.
Yeah. The
white ones, which were more rare, which were undefeated exclusives, and he gave me 200 on top, and then an Off-White Presto.
Damn.
Yeah, and like the breads, the Yeezy Breads just tanked because they kept restocking them. Now, of course, we didn't know that before.
Do you still have them?
No, actually, I sold them to go to Japan.
Damn. Because I think I've seen them maybe once in person.
Yeah, so I kept it for a long time. I got a lot of solid offers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they were still like, I got a solid offers, but it brought a lot of attention to the booth. So
that's cool.
It was like a whole little thing. But then I was like, oh, I want to go to Japan, so I sold them.
What's your favorite from that Off-White 10?
We sold all our sneakers.
Oh yeah,
to
sold
go
a
to
lot.
Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that you did mention that. Yeah.
I think I like that one.
The Presto.
The Presto.
Yeah.
Well, she had the Converse. I hit the Converse on for retail.
I still have those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't
saw.
wear them.
But yeah, I hit for retail on Nike. It's just like chasing stuff. It's just like it was like that. That's how I got that, because it was just random restock on Nike, and it wasn't even on sneakers. It was on the website. So like,
is y'all's like? I mean, it's obvious there. Like,
yeah,
the chase for like really cool obscure stuff is kind of what drives Tarsos. But what else is like, kind of at the heart of the brand for y'all?
Definitely for me, it's community. Actually, we wrote about this like in Ranban. So we went to Mexico, and was that 2021 or 2?
like when they first opened, I think 20.
Yeah.
22. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, one of those
when they
years.
first opened the borders to go back and you can travel with.
Oh, after COVID.
Yeah, right after
Okay.
COVID.
And we really liked it. I mean, the community, of course, is beautiful just in itself because it's very walkable. But we went back, and then that second time we went back, we went to a sneaker event. Mm-hmm. And that's actually where we met our friend Kike and Dani, who...
Kike and Dani. And
who David now has Sistema with.
Okay.
And then we met Giselle, who's my best friend now, and that's Kike's girlfriend. So... that's really where it all started. They sat and talked for like hours, and I remember being there like, when can we go? And like David was trying to do a deal with them on some shoes. He was trying to bring them back here, but and actually ended up not even going through. But months later, that guy hit up David and asked if we wanted to do like a collab pop up.
It was the other way around. I hit him up.
Oh.
Yeah, I hit him up like for Sneaker Fever. Yeah, like I saw that, like, because I had told him, like, I had asked people around what the biggest event was for the sneakers, and that was the common answer. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, like, I want to go there. And that's kind of like a Complex Con almost. But I think it's better, but people there think Complex Con is better. Although Complex Con has been redeeming itself this last year, I think, so. But yeah, that's just how it was the other way.
So we started talking to them, and, you know, like, within the first night after that event that we had, they came over so we could do like cuentas for the sales. And we had a really deep conversation that day about community and just like what they were wanting to build with their brand and what we were wanting to do here in Houston, and it aligned very well. So then moving forward, we would travel a lot to go do events in Mexico. So we went back and forth like probably like 10 times in 2 years, just doing events and going all over Mexico. We went Guadalajara, Monterrey, Pachuca, Querétaro, and just like doing pop-up events with them, and we really liked that. They would always put in a lot of effort compared to everybody around. Of course, everyone was doing crazy shit over there, like with their pop-ups, because here you see like racks and shoes on the table, and that's as much as like people try. Maybe more recently people are trying more, but before it was just crazy going over there and seeing like people would really take their time and spend hours just building a setup and making their pop-up look like actual store and an experience. And so we really liked that about them, and when we would come back, we would just kind of try to do the same here, and we found, of course, many limits because we're definitely standing out, and then somewhere between then we went to the docu thing that you had at Roundhouse, and we really liked that. It felt like almost like, you know, like Mexico vibes for us. So
you were saying that y'all were standing out here or standing out over there?
Really both places, but I was saying here.
Okay, gotcha.
In a way that almost didn't feel like good. Yeah. Because especially like at Trade by Night, you know, we came in and brought a lot of streetwear, and no one had streetwear there at first. we had like an experience with someone saying like, "Oh, here come the hype beast," and it was just kind of like, okay.
Mm.
But
So wrong.
yeah,
guys.
like. But yeah, I mean, we just kept pushing forward and putting ourselves out there here and there and really just wanting to build a community of people that kind of understood that we weren't just trying to like sell you something. Like we actually have very expansive thinking about this, and just like it's for community and for the love of clothes, really, because we think that dressing ourselves is a form of expression, and we try to do that every day. You know, the clothes we wear to work and the clothes we wear to go to events, and just making sure that it's always something that reflects us
Mm.
and how we're feeling.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's all about. I feel like with clothes, it's about expression. It's about, I mean, not to talk about politics, but it's embedded in politics
It
and
is,
identity. But for sure, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, and then from there on, like for me, I feel like it's been more recently that I've started to kind of formulate like my own perspectives, because for a long time I just kind of felt like I needed David to validate what Supreme was and what Stussy was and whatever it was, like sneakers, and more recently I've been having a little bit more freedom with like having my own actual like point of views in this world, because David helped me a lot to build that foundation. So yeah, I mean it's pretty cool being in this world. I really like it. I'm glad we stuck around, because we would just kind of be like, oh, should we keep going? Like, we're not seeing anything coming back from what we're trying to do here, and it's hard to split yourselves between two places, because like you said, we do have Sistema in Mexico, and because we're not physically there, we are limited in what we can do. Like, of course, we try to do our best to like support via social media, but it's only so much that can do. So we just keep trying our best to give our 100% to both.
Okay, I mean that's exhausting for sure.
It really is.
Yeah. Would y'all ever move over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Dang.
The goal.
The goal, bro?
Yeah.
well, so right now, yeah, I mean, I just think that that kind of, it almost feels like that's what it needs to reach the next level, to have everybody involved, be 100% involved. So, and I do think that it could be something very special. It is something very special, and I think that we can, like I said, moving there, and it won't, just moving there for X amount of time, just putting your all your time and effort into it.
Yeah.
It's definitely a commitment, and like I said, everyone, if we all like they do their part, and I think we will, when that does happen, like it will bloom like into something very, very great. And I think that like she didn't, like, we're brushing up more on them, like they're kind of like us, and like we're like the yin and the yang, that it just feels very, like, it just felt natural from day one, just very natural. I mean, just from like when going to that first event and meeting them, and like them being the only people with vintage there, like it just, like, you just notice things like that. You're like, oh, okay, like it seems like you're trying to do something a little different, or trying to, grow in other ways. I think a lot of people, especially like in the shoe world, like they just get stuck in their ways. That's it, like just shoes and shoes and shoes. So I guess it's not bad, but like if I think it's bad when you don't, like, even within shoes, you just like stay within certain models per se.
Yeah.
You're not like looking at other brands, at up and coming brands. Like new models, new silhouettes of other stuff. I think that's when it starts becoming a little like
new design thinking and all that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because the sneaker event that we went to in Mexico, it was a sneaker event, obviously, but they also had clothes. So that's what stuck out to us, too, at that point. It's like, oh, they're definitely different. Like he said, we just get along so well, and, like, Giselle is me, and, like, David is Kike, and it's kind of weird, but it's very cool, because we understand each other, like, beyond anything. Okay, Siri.
No one.
We understand each other beyond, like, just like having to talk to one another. Like it's almost like we can read each other's mind. So it's a very special relationship that we have with them, and then I really appreciate them too because they're older, so they kind of help us. Maybe not even like on purpose, but they've helped us, at least me, like feel more confident and like in adulthood, because it's hard being an adult, and like especially when the transition happens during a global pandemic. So no, they've definitely helped me, both of them, but Giselle especially. So yeah,
that's dope.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, y'all gonna leave Houston like that?
Not forever. We definitely come back. I think. It's like we go there and we don't want to come back.
You're like, all right.
I think it'll just be more like a more back and forth. You know.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah.
There for a month. I don't know. Who knows?
Who knows?
So.
Yeah, that's Tarsos.
What y'all got for me?
I got some questions for John.
Got some questions
Okay,
for John.
okay. It's like wrapping Christmas presents.
What's your name? You have a middle name?
Yes, but I'm not gonna say it.
John Nathan?
John Nathan.
John Nathan.
Nava. John Nathan.
John Nathan.
Janawara.
My old username used to be John Guava Nava or something.
Oh no.
Yeah, I changed it.
Guava Nava.
Yeah.
Okay, well, as we all know, Mr. John here made Ran Band, and he deserves all the claps for that, because that's
pat in the back, John. Do a pat in the back.
Yeah, he did all that. So my first question is going to be, what's something new that you want to implement into Ran Band, and what's something that you would like to continue?
In terms of like what's in the magazine content. So something new I want to do is a lot more like fit focus. Like I want to do white backdrop shoots with like more styling, kind of like how you did with Tarsos. But there's a Le Etiquette Men magazine that I saw at Kevin's apartment, and like it was just like a magazine straight of like fits. What?
Kevin, yes, Kevin.
Kevin, you know what I'm talking about.
Kevin.
And what is it? It was just like an issue just full of fits, and then a white backdrop. So
like a lookbook.
Yeah, basically. So I would want to do that, make it feel a little more professional, and then I would just want to keep the design language funky. You know, have it clean, but have it, still take some risks. Because reading that first issue of Popeye, because I got that for Valentine's Day. Thank you, Chelsea. And they just went wild, because of course that was 1976. So they didn't have Photoshop like we do now. So they're like coloring the background and then scanning it, or however they, made those spreads, but they're using colors, they like actual colors. They're using paint to make these wild, funky backgrounds. So I think just keeping the idea of really cool and intricate, like, editorial.
Yeah, that's very exciting. I feel like a lot of people, at least that we've met recently, are very excited about it. And just like a bunch of random kinds of people too. Like it's not just limited to like what's the scene. Because we'll show it to people at events and they'll be like, "Oh, this is really cool. Like, that's crazy." I even had somebody ask me like, "Is this a Japanese magazine?" And I was like, "No, it's actually local."
That's a compliment. I'll take that compliment.
It is. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm very excited.
What is interesting about that too is like we don't think about who buys a Popeye, right? In my mind, I'm like, okay, it's people like me, people like us who are into fashion, who are into like, I guess you could say, because to me, fashion is in a weird place where now it includes lifestyle and it includes like interior design and furniture and homeware and stuff like that. So
mainstream fashion, right?
Like, what do you mean? Because
I feel like that was always included in those old Popeyes. Like, I think that's what it was, you know?
That's what I'm saying, but like now, I guess I'm saying like, yes, mainstream is now getting into like bleeding into the other areas.
Yeah, because it kind of started with shoes, right? Like,
Yeah.
and now we're here with like people
where they want a Herman Miller chair and they want like an Eames chair and stuff like that. So
who that is.
For real?
What? They don't know who that is.
Oh, they don't know who that is. Oh, yeah.
We would try to go to the store in Japan and it was closed. So we're like in the middle, in the windows, like.
Yeah. That happened to me in Dallas, but it was their office. It wasn't a store.
Oh, wow.
I think they have one here, or like a stockist here in Westheimer.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's like by appointment only. And I hate places by appointment only because it just feels like, you know,
you don't want to make money.
Yeah, like, no, like.
Or like you kind of have to buy something?
Yeah, you kind of have to buy something. There's like a pressure, even though like,
yeah.
You know, that's just, I just don't like it.
That is true. That it would feel like
there's
that.
a little pressure there, like, and they give you all your attention, you know, but like, it's like, oh, it's okay, you know.
But in Japan, they give you good customer service regardless.
Yeah, but that's like a culture thing. Here, it's just because they want money, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it almost feels that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in Japan it's just like people actually like their jobs a lot.
I wish I did. I wish I liked my job. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they do, and so that's why they're able to give you like a pleasant experience because they're not forced to.
They're not. Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
What about?
How can I help you? Oh. And then they're rude to you.
What about?
What's something that you don't want to keep on a magazine?
I mean, not for anything like. Well, actually, no, that is a lie. Because I was gonna say style sample, but I do have an idea for a style snap like with running, but I'll let that be. I guess just. I mean, nothing really.
I'm trying. Just make it grow. Just more pages.
Maybe. Hopefully.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Very cool.
I guess I'll go back to you guys. I mentioned earlier, like, there's people that say Supreme is dead, and, you know, for sure the feverish, like, fandom isn't what it was in, like, 2016 to, you know, 2018 or whatever. But why do you guys still, like, mess with Supreme? What is, like, the appeal to you guys, and, like, what's the story?
Well, should I start?
Yeah, you can go first.
You go first.
No, you
okay.
go.
Y'all being too polite. Just get to it.
All right. I think that, at least for me, when I first found out Supreme, so it was like 8th grade. So it was like I was searching for just cooler stuff. You know, I was just like cool. Like I remember just Googling stuff like cool graphic tees, Houston. You know, where can I get cool graphic tees? And you know, that was kind of naive of me because it's like that's like what like. What do you mean?
Uh-huh.
You know, like that's just not right. No, well, I remember finding like Famous, you know, Famous, Faded and Stars. I think it was called Famous, that brand. Then you get the mall brands, and then like the hundreds, Obey, all that. Which I never had any of that because everyone always had it, so I was just like, oh,
yeah,
you know. But I found it. I think that why it's still relevant to me, or why I still like it and stuff, it's because when I found out about it, it wasn't popular like it wasn't 16 through 18 per se. It was it came from naturally from like me liking like I remember liking the way they release stuff. I'm like, oh, like weekly drops, and then the lookbooks were really cool, and the people modeling were cool. And then it was like, oh, it's sold out. Like, the only way you can get it is buying it somewhere else. And they never restock anything, you know, except, like, their box logos. And even then, they tweaked them a little bit, most of them. And it was just, like, you're always going to get something a little different. Kind of like what Nike does. Nike does that where, like, you're getting the same shoe, but, like, tweaked a little bit. You know, we just got the 85 bread ones. And then before, it was probably, like the Union, like the Chicago's, like this just dropped, and then you have the Lost and Founds. They're all kind of similar, but like they tweak them a little bit, so it keeps you like kind of there, and it does feel. It's cool. Like it's cool to have a little different stuff and like grow a collection and really the people, the community it built. People were lining up, and like that's really what built Supreme where it's at. Because like you were lining up at a line, meeting people, and like talking to them, and then like, oh, I'm gonna meet my friend. I'm gonna go to Supreme like next drop, and
yeah, the lore was building.
yeah. So I mean, and I experienced that firsthand when I camped out. It's just like you're just there like talking to like people from all over the world almost. Like people were just traveling for that. At that point, it was that big. But like I can't only imagine before when it first started getting popular. Like it felt like it felt like it was like a hangout spot, and like that's what really made Supreme what it was, because it's like, oh, like you have that jacket that dropped, and then you go hang out and you just see people wearing the same stuff, and you being there is what's cool. Just being in that environment. I think that, and it still feels that way, because you still find people online, people locally now, where like, oh yeah, I remember that item or this item, and I think just Supreme is like one of the only brands you can do that with, because like even Stussy, you can't be like, oh, you remember Stussy like '05, like, oh.
So that's what separates Supreme from.
Yeah, there's
others.
always just been good. It's just always been good. Like their archive is like excellent.
Hot take.
Yeah. I mean, I think so. Yeah, I think they've always been good. Like their bottom line is like way higher than any other brand.
Jackie?
I think for me, it's just they're always finding a way to stay relevant, and they cater to a lot of different audiences, which is really cool to me. Like, right now, for some reason, I'm wanting to talk about the pimple patches they dropped, because I would like use pimple patches, and obviously like it's something that kind of became a trend where like people are just putting them on their faces now. Like,
did they do it with Starface, or is it just?
No, it was a different brand, but it actually works really well. This is what I want to talk about, is because I just had a pimple the other day, and I
Okay.
put one on, and it actually got rid of all the gunk out. And so like they were very expensive. I will say, like, they're not something that I would personally buy. David bought them for me for my birthday.
Aww.
That's all she got. I'm just kidding.
Damn, how much were they?
No.
They were expensive.
Yeah,
They, like,
I want to know.
36, I think. 20.
For how many?
Like, I don't know how many were in the box.
there's quite a few in there.
But I think it was more expensive than like the regular ones. Cause I think
Yeah, no,
because
because the
like
regular
$20.
ones, right, are just like $10.
No, again, shipping.
Okay.
Shipping,
Yeah, no, but they find a way to stay relevant, and they're doing a little mirror, which I really want.
It's a lifestyle thing, I think, like what Polo did.
And then they do like crazy shit like motorcycles or like grills or whatever the fuck it is. Like they're just always doing something. I don't want to say original, because I do know that there's a lot of discourse about Supreme copying and stuff.
I mean, the logo
that's
itself
that's
is
their
copied.
essence.
Yeah.
That's their essence. Supreme.
Right, which is I think is something that keeps them cool, is like you said, like their whole logo is like something that was stolen, and they claim that, like it's not something that they're like hiding or like.
Shout out Kruger,
they-
Barbara Kruger.
It feels like, well, I mean, the era where it was red hot, it felt like a parody, because, well, one,
Yeah, the box logo did feel like a parody.
yeah, like one, it was just all the coverage and the hype beast rich kids that were wearing Supreme LV like head to toe.
Complex.
Okay, and then, but of course, like you learn about Supreme and you're like, okay, what is even the big deal about it? And you realize, okay, there is history there, but yeah, it is for sure like the most interesting streetwear company. To me.
I actually like the stuff they make, and I think most of it, if not all of it, is good quality and for fair pricing.
Yeah, that
Like,
it just hits the, like, just everything is
Yeah,
there.
like I
quality,
hate when
pricing.
people are like, "Why the fuck is this $500?" Like, what do you mean? Because it's made very well, and then whatever
It's a
materials
wool
are
sweater.
used, yeah, like whatever it
It's
is.
hand knitted.
Well, except not all the time, but
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, not all the time, but like they're pretty on point. Like their knitwear is really well made.
okay.
And like you said, like they're not original, but every brand is not original technically. It's just that they're very, they I don't know. It's just the people who they hiring. They came out and started brands like Noah. And like they're in like fashion houses doing behind the scenes works. Like I think whoever's picking and choosing the pool of people is very good. People, because there's no real creative director at Supreme, except Tremaine was like the first one. but there was no real creative director there at Supreme. So
Yeah.
someone's like picking these cool people to work there,
And that's the thing. It felt
tasteful people.
from the history, it felt like a lot more organic and authentic, because they were just picking out cool people, and then those people ended up like starting successful brands. Like it's like if y'all are familiar, this is gonna kind of sound nerdy, but there's a. It's just like when animators in the animation industry, they're on like King of the Hill. And then they're like, bro, get the fuck out of here. Fuck out of here.
I don't like that show.
I love that show.
King of the Hill, The Simpsons, whatever. Or like Gravity Falls. Like they have animators that.
I don't know what
I'm
You
just.
don't know what Gravity Falls is?
Was it on cable?
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, that's why.
Anyways, basically like they start in one show and then they go off to start off their own shows.
Uh-huh.
Right.
And so it's very, very similar with Supreme.
No,
Oh,
no.
see, I didn't know that. So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, because you were sleeping.
Thanks,
You're sleeping on me.
thanks, nerd.
Yeah.
Nerd.
There you go. City nerd.
That's cool. Yeah, I see there's some similarities there, and I just think they're just always like you said organic, feel organic, and they just hire like the best of the best. Like who know like I feel like they're like who's the best, like who's the most tasteful, like who has the best taste in music, and then they find that person, and then like when they do, you can see that when they do collabs, they're like, oh, like whoa, like I forgot about this era, this specific person, you know, like they did the saxophone and stuff like that, and they had like a super like, I'm sure it was some crazy saxophone player playing it, you know, like that's because like I only know that because they do it with like things that I do know, like oh that's the best this or the best that, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they did the sets, you know, the I forgot what it's called, but when you lift weights,
Bench press?
The bench press. There we go. Sorry guys.
Someone don't know ball. Someone don't know ball.
But like the person who was doing it in the promo video was like some heavyweight champion of like that. So it's just like stuff like
WWE.
no, WWE.
Oh, okay.
But you know, just stuff like that, I think it adds to their lore, and I think they've always been doing that, and just people have grown with them, you know, and that's you know, them going to and starting these things kind of gives it even more lore and like you know, like way more like cool points. So
Yeah, I mean they just did the Tyler T, and I think that kind of kept me around too. Like it brought me back to why I like Supreme, because you know he deserves it, and I think it was a little bit early. Like we posted about this, I wrote a little something about this on Tarsals, but it felt a little bit early. But at the same time, like it's so funny because Tyler does interviews, or he did an interview where he talked about how he planned out like his success, like when he was doing like Wolfgang and stuff. Like he knew he was gonna win a Grammy at that point. Like he'd be talking like, "Oh, I'm gonna win a Grammy," and people would be like, "What the fuck?" Like at that point, he was like rapping and like saying crazy shit, you know. And like we hadn't gotten Flower Boy or anything like that. So I think it's cool because he was a big moment for Supreme. Like he kind of helped bring it up a lot.
yeah,
He's the only reason I know about it.
Yeah,
no, it is.
and for a lot of people.
yeah, for like a big, you know, like like all his fan base is like for a big percentage of Supreme customers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Back then.
And then he did like the interview with Supreme for the box logo, you know, like the little like promo video where they're interviewing him and he's just talking about how like there's still pieces that he's looking for, and he's like, I'm not gonna say because like people are gonna, because that's how it is with Supreme, you know, like there's always something you're looking for. Like there's so many like gems that I honestly feel like a lot of people sometimes even within the Supreme will fixate on like the older box logos, like the older graphics, but there's other stuff that are like you know, like, well, I mean, their polo pieces, like their polo rip-offs are really, really good as well, which there's also like, it's also very popular, but you know, you never know like how good it really is until you start seeing more older stuff, you know, apart from the super popular ones. I'm like, damn, they were making this in like 04, like, you know, no one was doing that. No one was making like mohair cardigans again, you know, we were over that in 04 maybe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like they've just always been really good. They just always had good dressed people there.
Supreme for life.
Very many Supreme. And polo.
I guess that's what it looks like. That's what it's looking like for y'all. We'll do one more and then we'll take a break.
Okay.
One more.
My question is, do you find anything limiting you aside from money when executing your ideas? Follow-up question to that is like, what kind of experiences have made you want to give up or change your approach when you create something?
Good question.
Good question. Good question. Okay.
No, he be fixing himself. He's like, oh.
Okay. That is a good question because mainly right now it is money. It'd be tough. But aside from money,
My
it's
Ramban.
I think it's just wait. The question was, what is limiting?
Aside from money.
I think it is the network, because
Your network is your network.
good one. Because like, I mean, for example, this podcast we're talking about, who do we have on here? Who do we have a discussion with and whatnot? And it's like, we know people, and then those people know other people, but it's like, okay, who is down, and then who can we have a good conversation with, and like, who are we gonna have good chemistry with? And those are just a lot of factors that I've worked with enough strangers to know who I would vibe with outside of working with, like on something, and then who we're just gonna do that, and that's it. So network is very important, and also like I just feel like a huge nerd. Like I feel like I'm the one that sticks out in any group. And so
Hey guys.
And so it does feel sometimes like, oh, okay, I'm just the guy that does the thing. And like
the group project.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's horrible.
I'm gonna write my name on it.
I mean, it's true. So, okay.
No.
And so
Okay, make sure you get us 100, okay?
it's like, okay, who's really fucking with me and the vision, or who's just doing it because it's just to do it, and like they're not really, they don't have the motion like that. So there is that. Times that I've wanted to give up, yes, for sure, but not like really like, okay, I'm never gonna do this. I think the documentary and the magazine required a tremendous amount of discipline, and I was able to do it. But it's funny because the documentary, Fabricio and like Nate, they were like, I didn't think you were gonna do it. Like every time I'd see you afterwards, and then I'd ask you about the documentary, and you'd say, oh, it's almost done, I thought you weren't gonna finish it.
Wow.
So, but that was the big like motivation for the documentary. I was like, I'm finishing this so these motherfuckers know I'm about it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you're gonna finish the second issue then.
Get it done. And after that, the documentary, that's when I started getting more support verbally. Like, oh, like the magazine is gonna come out. That's how much faith people had in me, and I was like, this is you really what's fueling me. The people that I've taken pictures of already, the people that aren't in it but they're excited to see the actual product. So I'm lucky enough to like have that support, but there are times for sure I'm like banging my head on my desk and like I don't want to continue. You got to take your break and take a fat nap before even like trying to finish the one section of the project that you don't want to finish, but other than that, I mean, yeah, just some people don't want to work with you, and that's okay too. That's another like,
they will soon though.
That's another discourager. It's like, okay,
yeah,
either they don't hit you back up, or like they just leave you on red or whatever. But you just got to keep moving forward, and whoever's down to be in it and fuck with you, like that's all you need.
Yeah, that's good. Do you feel like you've ever wanted to change your approach, like maybe how you ask people to be involved or anything like that?
Yeah, but I don't know. It's weird because, like for example, with Paul Cantu, I DM'd him and I was like, I mean, I don't care like if he doesn't know me. I'm just gonna send a DM, and I have faith he's gonna answer. And then it's like, no, he gets a bunch of DMs, I'm sure. And so then like I send that message and I go on about my business and I interview Jesse from Hip Hop Vintage Flea Market, and I say, oh yeah, I wanted to interview Paul, but he's super busy. And he goes, I can give you his number. And then like I realized, okay, you really do need these connects. You need someone to vouch for you, for people to really like know you're serious about this. So I've also kind of tried, you know, hey, I hear you're, or like I see that you've taken pictures of Mexican OT. You know, is there any way you could shake something up for me? And it's like, no, but you know, it's okay. I tried. So I think I want to approach things more strategically. Like, okay, can you do this for me? Can you help me out? If not, it's okay. But if you can, that'd be really cool.
Yeah. Good way to end it.
Okay. We'll be back. Break. We are back and we are live with Tar Soul's Ranban Television.
Collab of the year, century, collab of the decade.
Oh.
It's true though.
The best collab since KFC.
And?
Taco Bell.
Dang, who's Taco Bell? I want to be Taco Bell. Y'all gotta be KFC.
I gotta be Taco Bell.
What?
I gotta be Taco Bell.
Why?
Because I
Mexicans. I'm Mexican too.
No, dude, what you are? We haven't even. That's why we gotta get to know each other, you know.
All right, what are we getting to know?
What kind of Mexican are you?
Yeah,
American.
Let's do this section in Spanish.
Y'all can go ahead. I'll go. Bueno. Bueno.
You sound like a tío, man. No?
Bueno.
Okay.
Sabes, ya tú sabes.
Yeah,
That's not
sounds Puerto Rican.
I had a Cuban barber at one point.
At one point. He's not here no more.
Okay. I go to Bookie. Shout out Bookie. Bookie the barber. All right.
Oh, so collabs.
Collabs.
What is missing from Houston collabs?
2 brands. 2 brands.
I wasn't feeling the laugh this time, but I still laughed. No, but for real, what is
like collabs, like Houston collabs, like just brands or just like
yeah, brands. I mean, you mentioned it like
yeah.
Why does it always have to be a product too?
Yeah, I think people, when you mention collabs, it always has to have an item or like a product, and I don't think that it should be that way. I think that collabs can be like this, doing something that doesn't necessarily, like you're not necessarily selling something, but it also can be like you collaborating with someone at an event, which we've done before. Something that we took from Mexico and brought here is like we've set up with friends before. David has set up with Frankie and
Striking Vintage.
And who else? Or is it just him so far? But we have ideas to set up with other people too, so it's just
hit us up.
just something that we've been thinking about since we have recently kind of, we're wanting to evolve Tar Souls into something else, and that kind of means getting rid of some of the inventory and slimming it down a bit. So with that comes
even more.
Getting on Ozempic?
Yeah. With that comes, having to fill the space, and I think doing collabs would be a great way to fill the space.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you see events a lot though. I mean, where there's 2 shops. I mean, Roundhouse, they sometimes host it at Bounce Back, and they did it at Full Court. But as far as like, also you see it in the running community. There's like 4 or 5 different run clubs per a meet. I don't know.
You gotta space them out though, cause they blocking the street sometimes. You get caught in the wrong one, like on the highest. It's like a train. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. But yeah, I mean, it's more in like different lanes. But in terms of fashion, there's no like, I don't know, weird ones. Like, no one's making like you said, no one's doing free events, but also no one's straying away from the shirts and the hoodies type of collab.
Well, what's a good collab to you? Then? What do you think? What is that? What is that?
Here?
Yeah, or here, just in general. Like, what would that look like in Houston, and what is that like outside of here?
I like. Oh, I'll speak generally first. I like collabs where, if it's an event, it's gotta be. You can take a souvenir from that. So say like I don't know. I really cannot think of something specific, but like, it's like if you were there type of vibe.
Yeah.
And I think there needs to be more excitement in Houston, where it's like I don't know, a coffee shop can also collab with a local brand, and then it's not about like their clothes, but it's about like bringing people together at that certain coffee shop, and then they have like a limited edition, like stamped cup. That's cool. With you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like something just
my mind, yeah.
something different. And then at Proper, rest in peace Proper, they had candles.
Oh yeah.
You know, so something cool like that where it's more.
They actually really smelled good too.
Yeah, I think I got the Proper like literally where it says Proper.
Oh, cool.
I don't know how to light it. I'm afraid to like.
It'll be gone.
Well, also I'm afraid how it'll melt.
That's why. I've never seen
You have
that.
to have like a thing for it to melt on.
And I don't know what I'd get though.
Or just get a candle warmer.
Okay, I don't know what that looks like.
I think we should be collabing. I think we should be collabing with restaurants, local small mom and pop restaurants. I think that's a cool thing. I think that's something I starting to see in places like New York and in Mexico as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that's been really taking or happening in Mexico City a lot. Like there's this one store that I haven't actually been, but I follow, and they do coffee, and then they have vintage. But they do events, like weekly events, I think, or if not, like at least monthly, where they host other vintage sellers, and so they kind of take over the racks and sell their clothes there. You know which one I'm talking about? It's called Ove Real.
Oh,
or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. I think I've seen it.
Yeah, it's really cute. It's more like catered for women, but it's very cute. And their coffee and their pastries and everything actually looks really good. Which I think is a struggle, because sometimes you go to places where it's like one and one, and then either one thing is really good and the other thing's kind of not so good. Like the coffee may not be so good at a place where they also sell clothes.
Name?
Sometimes the vintage is good. It sucks, but the coffee's good.
I have no idea what we're talking about. Or like, who did it? Was it Travis Scott and Erewhon? They had a smoothie. Cause
it was Cactus Plant.
Cactus Plant, yeah.
CPFM. Shout out CPFM.
Was
Send us something.
good?
Send us something. Sponsor us.
Hailey Bieber smoothie.
Yeah, it was Hailey Bieber. Didn't OR have one?
OR.
Olivia Rodrigo.
What? No one knows her like that.
Yes. That's her logo.
I have never heard anyone call Olivia Rodrigo
Okay. Okay, girl.
Number one fan.
How am I more in the girl world than you?
Well,
I'm a girl.
Not just a girl. Okay.
Well, we need more food collabs. We need a pizza collab. We need,
Bro, Supreme and Little Caesars.
Supreme did a collab with a meat market in
When?
New York. This season, it's in their lookbook.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I showed you, right? And then kind of like what Scar's Pizza in New York did a collab with Nike, like stuff like that. We need more. We need to bring stuff like that back.
There's also another like ice cream spot in New York. Mikey Likes It ice cream, and they have like this isn't really a collab, but he has like fitteds from New Era. I mean, anyone can get New Era blanks and put their logo on it.
We know the secret, guys. Stop making them.
but I think that's kind of a cool crossover, and I'm sure he's done like high profile collabs like that.
Yeah. We just need, I think that, and that's honestly probably the next step we would try and take. Finding a little restaurant to that maybe we know them or something, or for sure that the food is good.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like a local, a true place.
Yeah, like a real true local place that is
Yeah.
here in Houston only.
But what do you mean by that? Like you would go and sell clothes there?
Kind of. Like,
What-
why not?
what if
clothes
it-
would smell like food?
Or what if it's like a Tarsel's meal, and then it comes with a toy or some shit. I
That's
don't
better.
know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's just a thought process.
Oh,
I just
or-
I haven't thought about that. You know.
Or if it comes
Like
with
they
a
might
shirt.
have room or something, huh?
Or it comes with a shirt, like that yellow screen print. Because the problem that I have is not necessarily the fact that people are screen printing shirts. It's that, one, the design is tired, usually. And two, it's just not presented in a like, cool way. Like, there's no story attached to it.
Yeah.
There's no reason for it. It's just
That's
like...
the main reason, I think.
Yeah, so if y'all did, like, I don't know, y'all's favorite spot, you know, back in Katy. Or
Oh.
like over here.
Katie.
Katie.
Stinky Katie.
Stinky.
Or like, you know, where you guys are now. And then, I don't know, bring the community around it.
Barbacoa.
Or, okay, here's another idea for a collab. This is, again, nerdy.
Nerd.
I've always wanted to do like a community event for like students, like maybe it's a surrounding data or STEM, or maybe it's surrounding design, and then like a brand sponsors it, and all the kids get something cool. And that, like, it's kind of what you're saying. It's not for the money. It's for the community. It's for the betterment of the next generation.
That's really cool.
I mean, I don't know, I'm just a guy here. I'm just a guy thinking of stuff.
You should be a teacher.
I don't want to be a teacher.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, leave all this behind. Be a teacher.
Do collabs every time I have a class.
Do collabs with your students.
There you
Oh,
go.
that sounds nah.
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding. What other crazy collab ideas you guys have?
I mean, there's not much to a collab, you know. Just find something you like, and that's it. I think that that's just honestly what it all ties back to. Also, like, kind of like the economy. It's just like we need more collabs, because I think that we need. I think we share a lot more of the market share is like. I think there's a lot of clients that overlap between a lot of different things, and I think we should take advantage of that. You know, so that's why I think I think collabs like the restaurant or like coffees it's really good. It's a cool concept.
GameStop?
GameStop, no chain. We don't support corporate guys.
Or like I'm trying to think of EB Games.
EV. Yeah, like a car shop, right? Is
Wait,
that a
what?
car shop?
No, that's another GameStop
EB
type of
I've
vibe.
never.
Okay, never mind.
So I buy all my games on eBay.
Okay, that sounds like EB Games.
I want to talk about brands. Like, what kind of brands do you like, or what's something that you currently want
Oh,
to
me?
buy? Yeah.
Brands I like, I love New Balance. I've loved New Balance since high school. So like way before, I don't know.
Way before the high.
Way before the
when
high.
grandfather on.
I had Nike Vomeros before anyone in 2019. I'll just say that.
Oh yeah, I remember buying them at the outlet in like 15.
Whatever. No, but New Balance, I mess with heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I forget which ones I had in high school, and then like kind of what you were saying earlier, like you're just trying to be different, and everyone had Jordans, everyone had like some sort of Nike. Oh, the Roshi runs.
Hey.
Those were, I wanted some for the longest, but
I had some.
yeah, I would look up like New Balances, and then I got some Sauconys. I was gonna say Saucony. Saucony Jazzes.
Underrated.
And then I had some other New Balance in college, but they look like a golf ball. I don't remember the models at all. I think they were... No, I'm not even going to try and guess. But then I got like some 990 V5s like towards the end of college, and I beat those up. And then that's when the New Balance wave started. So
Did you ever like any of like the Joe Fresh Goods collabs or?
Yeah. Like
Shout out Joe Fresh Goods.
one of them, the bacon one, or like the pink one.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one. But I mean, they're all like super
Like the first one.
super
That was
costly.
the first one.
I think so.
Yeah. Well,
That's
I think. Yeah. We talked to him at Mexico City when he did it.
Wait, who?
Joe Fresh Goods.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and
He's for real my bestie. We talked a lot.
Yeah,
Because I wrote a piece about him on the Old Tarsos account.
Yeah.
And
Did he see it?
he saw it and
Yeah,
he
he
read
commented.
it.
What?
Yeah, he had commented on it. We don't
That's
have that
crazy.
page anymore, so.
Yeah.
But.
Didn't happen actually. Fucking cap.
Swear to
But
God.
yeah,
it happened.
he walked by and we waved him over and he was just kind of like, what the fuck, someone speaks English here? Because it was in Mexico City.
But what event was it?
Sneaker fever.
Oh, okay.
And he
Cool
was like
event.
invited to be a guest and he had his little stand too and he made a t-shirt. And in the piece I just wrote about him doing something for the community because he does a lot for the Chicago community.
Mm.
And so I wrote about that, and then he was like, "Man, I was reading this while I was eating tacos last night. You almost made me cry." And
Dude.
I was like,
Yeah, and I think he like the next generation, like the next thing where we're headed to. I think it's people like him, and I think he's gonna lead the way for that. I think that he is a very, very, very good storyteller, which is something that's missing very badly right now. And he will, like the leaving the 10 era, like he's the 10 almost, and whatever, like he's gonna be he's been working on, he's been like he just recently got popular, but he's been doing stuff for a long time. I just think he's the next. He's up now, but like he's like his shoes will be grails in the future, and like
They're grails now.
yeah,
No?
but I don't think that
People
like
don't
they've
really
reached that level
see
yet. Like there's a
it.
different level still to be reached for grails. Talking about like Easy Ones, Easy Twos, like people still don't see those shoes like that. Like his first shoe, or like the one that just released, the Age Low one. Like I think in the future, like we're gonna look at in retrospect, and we're gonna like that's gonna be a grail. Like,
he's very
because
humble
who he is.
too, because we spoke to him about, I can't remember exactly what the topic was, but he was talking about how he's basically had a lot of opportunity to work for like bigger brands and bigger things, do bigger and better things, but he's chosen not to because he's so focused on giving back into the community and like basically doing stuff that aligns with him and not maybe aligns with like the bigger corporations.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of like what the wave that we're on, and that's why we kind of we're not seen as much, and like he's not really seen for that reason, but he will be.
And it took him a while to even like he's just been popping as of lately, right? But like as I mentioned, he's been doing this for a long time, and it just takes a lot of picking at it, picking rocks and stuff. So
I like that. Yeah,
so.
picking rocks. How do you eat an elephant?
What? How do you eat an elephant?
Yeah, how do you eat an elephant?
The ears.
I don't. I'm vegetarian.
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time. So you know.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but shout out Joe Fresh Goods. Come on the pod.
Okay, good.
We're doing 5 episodes. This will be posted.
Hey, he might. I feel like he
senses us right now.
He
Actually.
No. I think I think he really is like he would listen to this if I were to send it to him, and I think that he
turns it off. Like
I mean, he saw that post. Like that's crazy
And
because he gets a lot of notifications. At that time, it was like when the drops were really popping for him, and for him to have seen that, to me, it was just crazy. And the next day we met him, and he was like, "Oh."
And he's a real he knows ball, and he's like he really loves, like he does it for the love of the game, which you don't see that.
Yeah.
Which game?
That's a good one.
Okay.
The community game.
Yeah, for sure. But what were we talking about actually?
About what? You didn't even get to the answer yet.
What items? Just because we're thinking about shoes, I really like those. Yeah, pair of boots. Yeah. How'd you know?
Everyone owns pair of boots.
Whatever. No, I wanted a pair of boots since I seen Lauren wear them, and then I actually tried to reach out to them for a sponsor, like in the magazine, and I had a call with somebody.
No way.
Yeah, and then he was like,
shit.
"What the hell?"
Oh my god.
Brother.
It's okay.
Damn, that sounded bad. Crunchy. But yeah, I had a call with someone from like whatever, and he goes, "We do not do sponsorships." You know, whatever he was, French or I don't remember.
Okay.
And he was like, "We just go organic. If you want to buy a pair of shoes and then take a picture and put it in your magazine, that's fine." And I was like, "Okay, whatever." Tell me why I go to Kinokuniya like the other day. I open up the newest Popeye. I open up the newest Men's Fudge. And I see a Paraboot ad, the same Paraboot ad.
Wow.
He was lying to me.
That's horrible.
Maybe that's the first one. Maybe he's just some guy.
Just
who's
the
in,
first
like, in a
one.
Maybe it
customer-
was. Maybe it
in a
was.
Customer line, you know, he's like,
Call back and see if they want
if
to
they
do
call
it.
me a banana,
I think
like,
I will.
How can I get an ad? I'm like, you can't get ads, and
I guess.
I'm just this.
I tried to reach out to Proper. I tried to reach out to like Faded. I tried to reach out to a lot of like
guys.
places.
Join before it's too late. This is the next thing coming out of Houston.
Ice in the veins.
So that's what you want. A pair of boots.
Pair of
I was looking at
boots.
some engineered garments ones, like collab.
Yeah. With who? With
engineered
pair of boots?
garments, yeah, pair of boot engineered.
Oh.
But
You
I
have
don't
some
know.
of those.
I think I've been looking for like a nice little derby shoe, you know.
I can see you in that. I can see you in that.
But like it's hard because like I don't want Doc Martens.
Oh, I had
You
some.
just
Doc
got
Martens.
some.
You just got some?
Yes, but like that's not that I didn't feel satisfied, you know.
Why not?
Because like
It's for an event.
yeah, it's for a special event. I'm 15. So I bought a suit, my first suit.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I was wearing suits all the time.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah. But other sneakers recently, Kids of Immigrants. That's like
I
really
really one
like
that I
those.
took a picture of at the event what the girl was selling, like a purple one. That's the one. The Sunders.
yeah.
I like the CDG ones.
The CDG ones.
I don't know what I really want right now. I think I want a nice pair of derbies. So yeah, like some obscure Japanese brand maybe.
Okay. I want some Japanese denim selvage, but I don't know.
Oh, kids love Guide. That's the brand.
Guide?
Guide or Guide. I don't know
How you spell it?
GAITE. It's like this brand. They just collab with Comb.
It's a wait.
You know,
Comb.
you know the shoes that like have like an
Yeah.
extra. What?
No.
They have an extra like it's like L shape.
We're talking about a shoe right now.
Yeah. It's like a boot and then it comes up, and like people have been like been kind of viral almost.
It's like folded or
Yeah, it's
something.
a folded, like the toe box is folded up.
Y'all gotta send me this picture. Because that's
It looks
weird.
crazy.
We'll post it right here.
Wait, why'd you go
Okay.
thumbs down on the selvage?
Cause I mean, like, yeah, it's a staple, but I'm like, everyone wants that, John.
But can I get to the point?
to
I tried on some selvage in Denver. I forget the name of the shop, but
Ironworks.
what?
Ironworks.
What? That's in Houston.
Oh, that's in
Denver.
Oh, okay.
Well, anyways, the owner was super nice, and he was, just showing me like different styles of Japanese selvage. You want me to get more specific?
Yeah, what
Yeah,
brands?
like something cool and obscure.
The thing is, okay, look, I don't.
know ball.
Okay.
He's not naming no brands. I'm just kidding.
I'm not naming brands because I'm like into this, but I'm not there with the knowledge yet, and I'm like,
Are you milking the culture, dude? Hold up.
and I'm like, I respect it enough not to like pretend. You know what I'm saying? So you guys know ball, but for me, it's like I don't know nothing, but I don't know everything.
Well, I don't know
Yeah, that's why I
everything.
feel the same way.
Okay, but y'all
I
are
think
fine with
David
me.
knows like a
No.
lot more than I do, especially when it comes to sneakers. Because like I never really knew a lot about sneakers.
But I almost feel like like there is a whole like new, like I was speaking new generation coming, like with the New Balance. Like there's a lot more to learn about sneakers again. Feels like because before. At some point, it was like it was the same thing over and over again, and recently it's starting to feel like I'm finding new silhouettes, new brands, and maybe they did exist before, but brands are being more experimental with their collabs.
Yeah.
Recently, so I think that's really cool, and it's just it's shaping it into a cool new generation.
Yeah, I will say now that you're talking about this, I love Satisfy. Y'all know that running brand?
No,
It feels like, I don't know, the high fashion like lovers running brand.
that's the post archive faction.
I
Have you
know.
seen that one?
No.
That's,
The what we saw at Void.
yes, that brand, but
Okay.
it was they did an on running collab,
Oh yeah.
and it was really like high end running.
Okay.
And there's this brand called Hermanos Kumori in Mexico City that also does running. Like it's literally the guys run marathons and their stuff and all that, and it's like cool like running gear.
Okay.
Like actually, like that actually has technology, because like a lot of them they just kind of like use the marathon logos or something like that, but they actually the technology is there too.
Okay.
So that's cool to see stuff like that rise up recently, right? Like where like before like you're looking at the marathon is no cool people, because I know my friend Jose again, he runs a lot. I don't know, like he runs like 15 miles of run, which I find that crazy.
That's half a marathon.
Right, like he does that like on a daily basis almost, or maybe weekly. I don't know.
Maybe like 3 times a week. I don't know.
But that's still a lot. I feel like even one time a month is a lot.
One time a month is for sure a lot.
But he does it consistently.
Well,
right?
probably
Anyways,
for marathon training. That's
Right.
probably what it is.
Right, but anyways, like we went to see the marathon. Her Alex, and like you just see people and like you start kind of see like, oh, like I recognize that, like there's this like this or that, maybe 1 or 2, but it's still pretty cool that like that's another thing that's happening. Like the tennis clothing, that's another thing. Just stuff like that. It's cool coming up.
Okay, yeah. I mean, on top of that is like, what is it? Hiking Patrol. They used to be a mood board for outdoorsy stuff.
Yeah.
But now they're like starting to come out with the collection. There's that. I always liked
their own shoes or collab.
like jackets,
Oh,
shirts.
really?
I mean
Like
shorts.
Hidden NY.
What do you mean?
Like Hidden NY. Do you know that?
Yeah,
But like they make clothes now.
Oh,
But
like you're saying like the transition?
Kind of like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But I don't like Hidden NY.
Or Jound.
Yeah, John
They
was
did
a
the same
vlog.
thing.
Yeah, John was a vlog.
Yeah, they did it that route. Trying to think. I like Drake's. The
The UK brand.
the suiting, brand.
Is it a UK brand? I don't know if it's UK. Maybe I'm just.
I don't know.
But I do know it's
Black.
Drake's is like it's like a high end like tailoring brand.
Yeah.
Blazers and like kind of like rolling blazers. Rolling blazers.
Mm-hmm.
Like that esque.
Yeah.
Thames, Thoms. It's like that's a UK brand.
Okay.
I think this, if I'm correct, the guy who started it is the guy who used to skate for Palace. He used to be a Palace skater, and then he started that brand.
Okay.
And it's actually pretty good. Like it's pretty solid.
And they do
It's
suiting
like
kind of
menswear. Yeah.
menswear. Yeah.
Like menswear like that.
Cause I'm trying. That's what the tip I'm trying to get into.
Two.
Oh, God.
That's what I'm trying.
To menswear.
Like menswear, but also like the active
Cool
side.
menswear.
Cool menswear, but also
What is cool menswear? Like oversized Oxford shirt, like.
To be honest, I don't know. It to me, like I would describe it as just very clean, like postmodern suiting.
I just feel like people should not they should mix everything up. I feel like that's a lot more fun, like do the menswear and then like
The
throw,
gorp.
like that sounds cool. I saw that a lot in Japan, and I
Yeah.
try to do that sometimes, I throw on like a Gore-Tex with like a cardigan underneath and like a pleated pants, and then maybe like some sneakers,
Should have been pair boots.
but I think that's fun. It sounds
Yeah.
like, and then like I feel like a lot of people kind of just stick to one thing, and then I think that doesn't involve anything. I feel like it evolves when you start mixing. Like that's what they do in Japan. Like in Japan, like obviously there's people who are very focused on stuff, but a lot of people mix everything up.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
But I will say you do have to have like knowledge in
yeah.
like both areas. You
Yeah,
know,
it's true,
the fact that like I don't know, there was a whole movement on like Ivy in Japan, and like you had fucking young kids wearing suiting, like American Ivy League suiting, and everyone was still wearing, men were still wearing suits, but that was somehow like super revolutionary for the fashion scene there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's just what the tip I'm on.
Yeah, I think it's funny that you say that because I actually recently have been venturing into like women's clothing because for a long time I was just wearing t-shirts and like baggy pants and I still do that a lot, but more recently like I've been wanting to find something on my own because like I talked about earlier, like David helped me evolve my style a lot, but more recently I've just been like I want to see like something that I personally like and don't need like David to say it's cool. So I went
Personal
to,
style.
Yeah, I went to Reformation the other day. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but
Now I am. Put me on.
Okay.
Chelsea keeps talking about that, about Reformation.
They have really cool stuff.
Who's Chelsea?
They have these pants that I want to get. They're about like $160, so it's something I'm waiting on.
Okay.
To spend that much on. And I also tried on like their Mary Janes. And they're so cute.
They're good, yeah, they're good.
Yo, you tried them on?
Yeah, like they feel a little narrow, but it's pretty good.
Those are like I want to say like $230, so that's not something that I want to do yet. But it was a really cool experience. Like basically you shop around and then you tell the girl like what you like, and then she adds it to your little cart. You go into the fitting room and then there's like a magic wardrobe thing that they do. So it's like a closet essentially, and then they put all your stuff in there for you from the other side, and then you open it and it's like magically appears.
Wait, what?
Then, yeah.
It's like a whole thing?
Yeah, it's a whole.
You should
so
try
then,
it on. You should go and try and see what.
Do a little vlog.
Right.
And then
Whoa.
you can also like order more sizes from inside the fitting room. Like they have a little iPad, so if you want to try a different size, you order it. You close the closet and they put it in there. You open it.
Feels like that's how it should work.
That's the future.
Yeah.
That's the future.
It's very cute. I really enjoyed it. Like I'm definitely gonna go back and purchase something just because that was a really great experience.
Okay.
But yeah.
Shout out Reformation.
Reformation.
Pete Davidson.
What about him?
He just did an ad for them.
And Skims, right?
Did he do an ad for Skims? What?
Oh no, he was in underwear. It was Calvin Klein, right?
Oh yeah.
Where he covered all his tattoos.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did he actually remove them?
He removed most of them, but the rest they make-upped.
Okay.
That's what I read.
Yeah.
TikTok.
He did an ad for them, and he was like the boyfriend while the girl tried on clothes or whatever.
Oh, it was a video ad? Oh, that's something I want to talk about. We're right there at the end, but how brands now, like, I don't know if you heard of Memory Lane Park. They just changed their name. They rebranded. But they do, like, really, I think, are really good, like, promos. And I entered, like, a promo contest where you had to make, like, an ad for shoes. And the feedback we were getting from judges is, like, this is where companies are headed. They want to create ads and commercials that don't feel like commercials. And so I think a brand like Memory Lane Park, formerly known as, they do like really cool, like, I don't know, really well executed like short films for their brand where it showcases the clothes and stuff, but it's also like a scroll stopper. Like it really like captivates you. So I think y'all need to do a Tarsals video.
That's something we've talked about before.
Yeah?
Yeah.
A little skit?
A little skit, yeah. But it's just like that, like not wanting to just be like, buy this, you know? Something that makes it feel like, oh wow, that was cool. Like I wish I was wearing that, and so that happens to me or something like that.
Or just the brand is so cool, like, you know what, I wanna rep, I wanna support or whatever.
Yeah, that felt like we got a lot of motion from the lookbooks from that, because there was a lot of different kinds of people liking the posts and sharing it, and it was likely, you know, people that were friends with you guys, the models.
Shout out the models.
Yeah, shout out the models, and for sharing and stuff. And
liking and I didn't really want to.
But yeah, but that it felt good to kind of see like someone who doesn't usually like to post like that and like see that we're doing something cool.
Yeah. I mean, when y'all get the budget for like a really cool video, sign me up. I'm down.
You want to be the model?
No, I want to produce.
Oh,
I want to write the stuff.
I'm
If you want to
Seriously.
get paid, because he said when you get the budget.
No, not me. I mean, but
I'm
like,
just kidding.
I really mean like, because me too. I want to afford someone like with really nice gear, or I want to afford the nice gear myself. That sort of thing.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Hopefully, buy
So-
Ram Band.
Buy Tarsals.
Buy Tarsus. It's not for sale.
Stupid. Okay. Any last words? That's bad. That's bad.
That was horrible.
I'm sorry. Okay. Any last words?
Buy Ran Band, buy Tarsel's stuff.
Bar
Not Tarsel's itself.
Not for sale.
I think that you gotta support cool stuff in the city
Like this.
like this, and I think we are not to like. I'm calling right now. We're on the brink of greatness here. This is gonna be really, really the next thing, because we like this, and we are putting our whole. I was gonna say our whole ass in this.
I was gonna say the whole Badussi.
Yeah. No, but I think we're surrounded by great people, and everyone who watches this
Is great.
Is great, because especially if you're getting this far, really, if you're getting this far, like there's no reason you shouldn't be supporting. If you're getting this far,
Yeah.
because your interest was peaked up until
You're a real one.
Yeah, we need a name for them.
The fans.
The fans, right?
You're the
All
fans.
three of us.
No, stop. No, people watch this. People be like, dang. Let's do more stuff like this.
Yeah, and if you want to be a guest, let us know. Be cool.
We're doing 5 episodes.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong
He just plotting,
Yeah,
making
I'm
big
plotting.
moves
This
for
guy's-
the future.
This is the future.
Why are you always making waves? Why are you always setting stuff in motion?
Yeah, well, thanks guys for reaching this far. Thank you, John.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you, Jackie.
You're welcome.
All
I
right.
don't think you guys could add. Thank you guys.
All right. Bye.
Bye.